I'm forgetting the hat. There we go. Hello and welcome to the very first Ask Me Anything with the Writer's Club, and with me, the person wearing this party hat. My name is Ben Sobiak. I am the creator of the Writer's Club. It is my invention, and when you write in with comments, questions, concerns, feedback, high fives, anything, on thewritersclub.com, I am the person who responds. I'm a real person. Sometimes I'm doing things myself, sometimes I have help, but you know, this is my business. This is what I'm very fortunate to do as my job. And I thought it would be really neat if we could have a little, if customers would submit things and I would answer them, for better or worse. No rules. Yeah, so, you know, I bet, yeah, this hat's not going to stay on. All right, let's get started. In no particular order. Gillian writes in. Hello, Gillian. Thank you for writing. Says, hey, Ben, it's your transplant buddy here, unmasking myself to let you know I bought writer's gloves for 2 different loved ones last month, and both are enjoying them. Thank you for sharing that, Gillian. That's really nice. What Gillian mentioned here, as a transplant buddy, I became acquainted with Gillian over X or Twitter or whatever we're calling that website now, because we both have had organ transplants. I am a kidney transplant recipient. This is one of the reasons why I enjoy doing my business with the Writer's Club and some other businesses that I do, because I can manage my health at the same time. There's a lot that comes with getting an organ transplant. So, yeah, you can't tell that I have a transplant, but I do. And the person who donated the kidney is happy and healthy. So, hashtag donate life. All right. Well, I hope that you're doing well, Gillian, and thank you for writing in. The next person, and I'm not making this up, Catfood is this person's name, although I'm fairly certain that this is someone who has a real name but would prefer to go by Catfood. Well, okay, Catfood. Hello, Catfood. Thank you for writing in. 2 things. First, thank you for the Writer's Club. They are super nice. Nothing compares. Well, thank you very much for saying that, Mr. or Mrs. or however you prefer Catfood. Thank you for saying that. Second, what was the funniest experience you had while doing this business? Well, funny to me is probably not funny to anybody else. Or it would take me an hour to explain the joke, and, well, you just don't have that time. I'll tell you something that is kind of funny, that I think some people may find amusing. Sometimes I find myself in the position where I need to go to the post office to drop off orders in the middle of the night. Really late. I call them my midnight post runs. And it involves me driving to the post office, getting out, going, dropping off orders, for a number of reasons. Sometimes it just works out that way. Sometimes, I mean, just whatever. So, on occasion, there are hooligans in the parking lot who like to hang out by the post office because the post offices are always open. And, you know, I roll up with tough guy music on. That's what I call it. Things like, things that make me sound a lot more intimidating than I really am. I'm not some tough guy. I don't go looking for fights or conflict or anything like that. But I do play this music just to, I don't know. I don't know if it makes a difference. Well, the hooligans just kind of keep to themselves, and so do I. So maybe that's why. Maybe they hear Drive Forever, if you know what that track is like. Maybe they hear that coming and they think, oh yeah, better not mess with this guy. So I might not be tough, but I am polite. And that seems to go a long way. I just go on about my business, say hi, say good night, things like that. And just leave me alone and I leave them alone and everything's fine. So, I don't know. I guess maybe that's only funny to me because I'm there. But you got to imagine, it's the middle of the night in a dark parking lot and it's me and like 10 other people. So, I don't know. Well, thank you for writing in, Catfood. I hope that I hope you enjoy your clubs, Catfood. Next is from Emanual, who writes in all the way from Romania. Thank you for writing in, Emanual, and thank you for the order of the gloves. First of all, Emanuel says, thank you for making long sessions of writing possible for those of us with poor peripheral circulation. Well, thank you for sharing that. The writer's glove is when I came up with this, I had no idea that people would use this who had medical issues with their hands. I figured this was mostly a comfort thing. It turns out that a lot of people who have certain medical conditions, Raynaud's comes to mind, of course, but then many others, chronic palmar hyperhidrosis is one. It could be neuropathy, it could be diabetes. I don't know. I'm not here to treat or cure anybody, if the FDA is watching. But I am here to make your day a little bit better, and that's what makes me satisfied as somebody who does this as a business. But anyway, Emanuel goes on to say, look, this is not all like softballs here. there are some criticisms, and so Emanuel goes on to say that the material that the gloves are made out of, I'm just going to summarize because there's a bunch here. It can get linty, the seams can unravel, and the area between the fingers can have rapid air cooling when moving around. So I think what Emanuel's referring to here is the space in between the fingers, like this, can have some gaps in coverage as you're moving about. And when you have a product designed to keep you warm, that can be uncomfortable. And I totally understand that, Emanuel. This in glove speak, this area in between the fingers, along the sides of the fingers, the glove term for that is fourchette, which is a French word that I believe it's French, and I believe that it means fork, because the piece of fabric that it uses is like a fork. So anyway, this brings up a good point about the material that the gloves are made out of. For version 3, I mean, things like this, where, seams come unraveled, the gloves pile, like balls of fabric that you see sometimes happens. That is a result of the material that is used to make the writer's glove. That material is nylon and spandex with a bit of copper. And that's version 2 of the glove. So version 2 of the glove had to be nylon and spandex because of the design of the fingertips. Now the design of the fingertips, that's the patent pending part. That's where the seams are offset, so it kind of makes a shape, the seams, if you look at them like this. It's hard to describe this stuff on camera, but if you look at it, the stitching kind of might remind you of the stitching on a baseball, which in Romania, I don't know if you're familiar with that, Emanuel, but it's like an hourglass shape. To get that to work, I had to switch from silk, which was the version 1 of the gloves, over to the synthetic material, like a nylon blend. You always work with trade-offs whenever you're selecting fabric. So silk held better, and it didn't pile in the way that nylon does. However, silk does not take to that kind of stitching that was needed to make those fingertips work. So it was a trade-off. The fingertips, I feel, are really cool and important to the product. And it was worth the trade-off. And as for the seams unraveling, I mean, there's a number of things that can happen that influence that. But what I can say is, feedback like this, I do take extremely seriously. I mean, there are some companies who don't, who just go on and like, yes, we take it under consideration. No, I take this stuff extremely seriously, especially because version 3 is what I'm working on right now. There are many materials that could be used to increase the experience of using the gloves, but also some of the durability issues that come with like knuckling on the gloves all day. This is always has to be counterbalanced with making the glove thin enough to type, and then also warm enough to type. Because if you really wanted ultimate dexterity, you could just wear surgical gloves, but that's not comfortable. It's all plastic. It's not the way to do it. There are some cutting edge materials, and I say cutting edge because they are cool out there, but I need to figure out how that works into the manufacturing process. So that's what I'm working through right now. Version 3 of the glove is coming. I can't say when, I can't say more than that, but it is something that I'm working on that incorporates a lot of the feedback that people give me. So Emanual, thank you for writing in. I take this stuff very seriously. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this Ask Me Anything is just to explain where this glove is headed, because this is not ever done. I mean, I might be improving this thing for the rest of my life. I might get there, but I know the end goal for this thing. I know what it is. It's just a matter of getting to it. But that's the interesting part about running a business like this. So again, thank you, Emanuel. Hope you're well. And let's go on to Frank. Frank. Hello, Frank. Thank you for writing in. He says that the cuffs on the gloves, the part that goes around your wrist, that is too tight. I agree that it doesn't fit everybody's wrist perfectly. This, again, is one of those trade-off things, especially when you're trying to design a single product that gets used by people from all over and all kinds of backgrounds and use cases. No two sets of hands are the same, and people don't even use their hands in the same way. I didn't want it to be too loose, because that could, the glove, because that can impede on typing. You don't want a lot of slack in the glove, and so the cuff on the glove is what basically supports everything down to the fingertips, because that's what's anchoring the design. So yeah, I erred on the tight side. This again might be solved with a change in material or design, but in the meantime, yes, I would like it to be a little more elastic. I'd like it to have, well, this is always the thing. If it's elastic, then it can become loose, and then the entire utility of the product is gone. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to solve that. I know I'm going to solve it, but again, that's a version 3 thing. That this is completely reasonable bit of feedback here, Frank. He says that they're so tight that they cut off some blood flow and made his hands colder. Well, that does defeat the purpose of a warm glove, doesn't it? I would say if any of you out there have the feeling that these are too tight for you, I would take the wrist portion, the cuff portion, and wrap it around a baseball and just let it sit. Getting back to baseball, I guess if you have access to a baseball. I sell these things all over the world. That can stretch it out and just leave it with the baseball. That'll stretch the fiber slowly and still retain some of that grip that secures the cuff around your wrist. So thank you for saying that, Frank. I agree with you. This could be improved, and it's something that I will be addressing in version 3. Also, he says, I'm disappointed that I can't use the gloves with my iPhone. I have to take them off if I want to check something on my phone. Well, the fingertips, all 5 are touchscreen enabled using copper. If that's not working, I wonder if it's an issue with the glove itself. Could be. Or it could be an issue with, like, sometimes screen protectors get in the way. Or, I'm not saying this is you, Frank. I'm saying that this has been the case with others. The screen's kind of dirty, and it doesn't detect the conduct. It doesn't detect the finger because that heat and that electric pulse that's in your hand doesn't transfer through the copper onto the screen because there's something in the way. And a lot of times that's like gunk or a screen protector. However, it could also be a faulty glove. So I wrote Frank back, I believe, and said, I could send you out another pair, see maybe it's just one pair of gloves that's got something wrong with it. But if you, the rest of you, ever encounter something like that, please let me know, because I want to correct it for you or identify a problem in the manufacturing somewhere. So thank you, Frank. Last but not least is William, who asks, who will win the Super Bowl? The Super Bowl, as of this recording, is coming up, well, in a few days, in the weekend. It's the coming weekend. Well, I think there's only one answer to that. I mean, there's San Francisco and there's Kansas City. They're both playing. Who will win the Super Bowl? I think it should be obvious to everybody. The owners of the winning team. They will win the Super Bowl. Through merchandising and licensing and everything else. They will end up being the winners. In the losing team may also have its owners do well too. It's a good thing to go to the Super Bowl, you know? But I don't know. I right now I'm a basketball fan. I live in Minnesota, and the Minnesota Timberwolves are doing very well. And I in fact will be going to one of their games soon. So yeah. We'll see how it goes. That's what I have. I plan to do more of these in the future, but until now, now is now. Until then, thank you, everyone who wrote in. I do appreciate it. And if you have any other comments that you'd like to pass along to me, either to do in an AMA or just privately between the two of us, thewritersglove.com, go to the contact form and send me a message. Thank you so much. Finally, I want to say how lucky I am to do this, and it's because of you, the customers, that I'm able to do this. I enjoy it. I hope that you enjoy the product, and I hope you'll stick with me as the Writer's Glove continues to evolve. It is such a treat to do this. It really is. Can't thank you enough for giving me the chance to do this. It's incredibly rewarding. And from the bottom of my heart, I really do mean it. Thank you to every customer who has given this product a shot. It means the world to me. So thank you. Have a great day. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And I'll see you online.